러시아 경제 제재와 관련해서 한국에서 판매된 신차가 이 중고차로 러시아로 가는 것에 대해서 대안이 없는지가 궁금합니다.
안녕하세요. 오토캐스트 신승현입니다. 메르세데스벤츠 그룹의 이사회 의장 올라칼레니우스가 한국을 방문했습니다. 하루 전인 어제 SK그룹과 만나 전기차 배터리에 대한 사업 현황 그리고 미래, 인포테인먼트 시스템에 대한 협력 등을 약속했는데요. 오늘 기자간담회에서는 메르세데스벤츠 그룹의 전동화 사업에 대한 전략과 미래, 사업 계획 등을 공유했습니다. 이어진 Q&A에서는 다양한 현안도 함께 다뤘는데요. 저와 함께 한번 살펴보시죠.
This Mercedes-Benz Korea presentation. It's great to be back in Korea again. I'm a real fan, represented by these two D-classes in the Korean color. So K-pop, Korean drama, Korean food, and Kalenius is also a big Korea fan. So thank you for hosting me here today. Now, let's have a look a little bit at our business. When we talk about electrification, as I mentioned in my presentation, the digitalization trend is not just something where the product is affected, it's also something that we're leveraging to improve customer experience and improve business processes. So around the world, we are now enabling our sales systems to, in a complementary way, give customers the opportunity, if they want to go all the way. But it doesn't replace, especially for a brand like Mercedes-Benz, the human touch. So it's not an either or. So let me specify one thing first. We're going to put Mercedes-Benz in the position for our complete lineup of cars to serve the market 100% with EVs by the end of this decade. But if the market is not yet ready, we will also have electrified high-tech combustion alternatives. So we cannot predict exactly what percentage of sales we will have at the end of the decade in a market like Korea. But we will be in a position through our product portfolio to serve the whole market if the market has come to that position. And in that context, Korea is hugely important for us, but not just in the battery cell space where we have had strong partnerships for years. In fact, I think my very first trip to Korea more than 20 years ago, I was working in procurement for Mercedes-Benz at the time, and we were talking about we need to get closer to the innovation and supplier cluster in Korea. It's growing, it's very competent, and frankly speaking, we're not doing enough business with Korean companies. If I look now 20 years later, I mean, we literally have hundreds of suppliers in Korea. I met with SK, as you mentioned, yesterday. I'm meeting with other key supply partners, technology partners today. This is one of the leading nations in automotive innovation. And I don't think we build a single Mercedes around the world without a piece of Korea in those cars. So from a technology point of view, Korea is hugely important to us in many different technical verticals. And yes, we will work with our partners here in the areas where we have cooperation to future-proof our business. In terms of building a production plant, if you are a premium luxury manufacturer, you have a lot of models, but not so much volume on each model as if you are a volume producer. So before you reach critical mass in terms of the single volume for one model in one country, that needs to be quite a significant number. And we are not at that stage in the Korean market now. Should we be there one day, we shall see. But that's down to economics when you decide the size of the plant and where you put it. But we're hugely committed to this market and also its supply base. It all comes down to customer orientation. The reason why we made the decision for North America in this case to adapt that plug, the NACS plug, which will be SAE certified, I believe, towards the end of this year, is because we believe that most of the charging stations and the deal that we did in this case with Tesla that offers that particular plug would be the most convenient for our Mercedes customers. That's why we're doing it. The CCS standard, which is kind of the world standard, will still remain for the world. Of course, Japan has its own with CHAdeMO. So very much like when you travel and you're looking for a socket for your racer or whatever, you end up in different parts of the world and you see that you have different plugs. We just want to make sure that the convenience for the customer is best in the market where we serve. But it's just a plug. The technology underneath the battery and everything else is the same around the world. That is the same Mercedes-Benz standard for every single vehicle around the world. So it's just about the plug. When this terrible war started in February of last year, we were one of the first companies that made a very, very clear decision that we would freeze our business activities in Russia because of information. And since then, we have not only stopped our activities, which we more or less did immediately, but we have now also completely sold our operations in the country and also cut off software support, different things like that. Not just because it's in line with the sanctions, because we think it's the right thing to do. Wherever we can, we of course try to make sure that there are not ways around that. The case that you are mentioning, if somebody's already bought a car in some country around the world and they own it and then find a way to move it into another country, it's of course very, very difficult to control those types of things. But whatever is in our control that we can do with our business relationship, we have made a clear decision. We're not doing business in that country for the time being.
네, 메르세데스벤츠는 이 전동화에 대한 확실한 비전과 계획이 있다는 것을 올라칼레니우스 회장을 통해서 다시 한번 확인할 수 있었는데요. 다만 이번에 좀 바뀐 것은 최근 전기차 시장에 대한 흐름이 좋지 않은 만큼 벤츠 역시 자체적으로는 충분히 영향을 갖추겠지만 시장의 상황과 흐름에 따라서 이 속도를 조절하겠다는 뉘앙스인데요. 앞으로 메르세데스벤츠가 어떤 행보를 보일지 지켜보도록 하면서 저는 지금까지 오토캐스트 신승이었습니다.